Cuckoo, do you wish for my powers, young buddy fighter? What is up, YouTube and all you sexy buddy fighters? It's Dragon King, and today I'm gonna do a deck profile on the brand new Dragonblood Sect from the latest expansion, Buddy Lineage. Now, before we begin, let me give you an introduction on the deck Dragonblood Sect. So basically, this is classified as a tank deck, or some of you might call it a boss deck, which consists of one very overpowered monster, which is very hard to kill, and we have defensive spells in order to protect that monster. Decks which are also classified as tank decks are Atora and Shadow Shade. Decks like this are usually more straightforward and easier to play because they have one goal. Don't let your monster die and you might most likely win the game. I really enjoy playing tank decks because it is so much fun having my boss monster and torturing my opponents. Now, why is Blood Dragon so feared among many buddy fighters? Because mainly tank deck usually have very high defense, and your opponents would most likely have to link attack to even touch your Dragonblood Sect, and when they do, Blood Dragon will punish them with a counter attack and breaking their resources. At the same time, every time your opponent monster is destroyed, the Dragonblood Sect gains massive advantages through different cards, making them almost impossible to beat you. That's where the fun, the torture begins. Now, if you're just here to check out my deck list, here it is. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking, hey, wait a minute, there is no promo. You got to play the promo. It's a staple in the Dragonblood Sect. What? Now, I know the promo is pretty hard to find. There's only about 2 in each case of Buddy Lineage. But do not worry because I have specifically built this deck without the promo and it works perfectly. In fact, without the promo, it gives us more space to play different cards, which makes the deck more versatile as well. In case you're wondering, this is the promo over here. I currently only have one because I'm broke. It is a Soot Shackles Black Chain. So activate, you can put this into a soul of a Dragonblood Sect monster on your field. If you do, draw a card. If this card is in the soul of a Dragonblood Sect, damage you take are reduced by 1. There are many similar cards in the deck which also reduces damage and as well as gain life. And to be perfectly honest, I think that the promo is okay. Along the way, if you do get it, then you can add it into your deck as well. So let's dive into the deck profile. Let's look at the flag and the buddy. Now, this is the character which uses Dragonblood Sect in the anime. Now, this guy is cunning and he's a snake. He even looks like a snake. Look at his face. And next, the buddy we play, Pale White, Silent White. Pale Snow, Silent White. Now, this card is amazing. So, first of all, it has a call cost. Pay 1 gauge and put the top card into his soul. So, you get Soul Guard. If you have another originally size 3 Dragonblood Sect monster on your field, this card, the size is reduced by 3, means it's a size 0. It's a sidekick to your main monster. It serves as an additional attack, and also it counter. If you pay 1 gauge, you can stand another Dragonblood Sect monster on the field. This counters to many counters such as resting cards. You know, if Magic World uses Necrolepsy and rest all your cards, you can use this and stand your main monster to go for a double attack or a triple attack. This card is really amazing. Goes for the additional push of the gate. Next up is the main card of the deck. We play 4 of Dragonblood Eyes, Bloody Eyes. Now, this card is so amazing. It is the strongest card in the deck. So basically, call cost, pay 2 gauge and put 3 cards of your deck into its soul. When a monster on your opponent's field is destroyed by card effects, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Wow, that is sick. So you're constantly dealing effect damage to your opponent. At the start of your opponent attack phase, choose a monster and stand on your opponent's field. For this turn, nullify the abilities of the chosen card, and that card must attack this card alone first for this attack if able. So it has double attack, soul guard and counter attack. Now, how do you use this card is, during your opponent attack phase, you choose a card, any card, nullify its ability, make him attack your Bloody Eyes, destroy it with counter attack, deal 1 damage to your opponent. We usually choose the strongest monster on your opponent's field, such as Dragot, because when you nullify Dragot's ability, he won't be able to G-Evo. Note that it says, for this turn, nullify the chosen card. So, in order for him to actually counter to that, he will have to use a switch mode, which is you know, there's a chance that he doesn't have it, and from there you just destroy the Dragon. And if when Dragons without Dragon, you know, they're not playing Dragon. So it is also very powerful because it has a 8k defense which you can also boost it up with different cards of the deck. Now this card is just really powerful because of the nullify effect. It's the main card that you most likely you will want to call most of the time. The next size tree we play as backup because you know, in a tank deck, if you do not draw your size tree for some reason, then you basically kind of lost the game because you have nothing to call. Now this acts as a backup. Personally, I really like this card. It is Deep Track Endless Ladder. It has a slightly lower stats than your main monster, 9k power, 2 crits and 6k defense. Now core cost, pay 2 gauge and put 2 cards of your deck into it. So now, when a monster on your opponent field is destroyed by card effects, you gain a life. So this is an alternative to dealing 1 damage because you know, some decks, they just can't take any damage. Like Atora, you can't do effect damage. Shadow Shade, you can't do any effect damage. So having a gain a life would, you would want it rather than dealing 1 damage. At least you know you can survive longer. And at the start of your attack phase, opponent attack phase, choose a monster at stand. The same thing. Make him attack him first. It doesn't have nullify its effect. However, it has triple attack. Now, triple attack is also pretty scary in this deck because you have cards. When it's in the soul and you attack, you can destroy a card on your opponent's field. Now, destroying a card is really important, and having the triple attack, you can destroy 3 cards. So, you know, personally, if you really don't have that, I love this as well. Many of the times I win with this deck using this card, and it works perfectly as well. Alright, the next card is the Buddy. We play 4 of him. The next card is from the secret set, Countless Blades Eternity Age. Now this card is crazy good. So if you played MAT, this is something like a sword. So when activate, put this into a soul of a Blood Dragon Sect monster, you draw a card, and if this card is in a soul, it gets power plus 3000, critical plus 1 and penetrate. It's your filter card. It's something like the promo. You put it in, you draw a card. Whereas this one, it gives you penetrate and critical plus 1. You really need this for the extra push. Imagine having like 3 of these inside your main Blood Dragon with a triple attack. That makes it about 5 crits triple attack. That's pretty insane, am I right? Alright, the next card, which is also from the secret set, Dark Dream Shadow Surf. When a monster on your opponent's field is destroyed, if you have another Blood Dragon Sect on your field, put the top card of your deck into your gauge and draw 1 card. So charge and draw. You can only use this ability once per turn. So how I would usually use it is I'll call it to the side. During my turn, I would attack my opponent monster. When it's destroyed, this ability is triggered. And then during my opponent turn, since my Dragonblood Sect would activate first and make my opponent attack my Dragonblood Sect, having a counter attack, this will get a charge and draw again. So you're constantly charging and draw, which gives you so much advantage. This is really a must play 4. Next up, we play 4 of Dirty Rag Black Cloth. So activate, put this card into the soul of a Dragonblood Sect, whereas this time you do not draw, but you gain a gauge, which is really good as well. When the Dragonblood Sect with this card in his soul attacks, destroy a card on your opponent's field. Oh my god, guys, do you know how important is destroy right now? Because with Shades setting up their set spells, with Sam 2 Pillars setting up their set spells, and just so many cards important to destroy, you have to play at least, I would say, minimum 3 of this guy. Because you really need to clear all the threats on the board, all the cards. Like, you can literally swipe your opponent entire field away with this card in his soul, with a double attack or triple attack. This card is really amazing. It is just so good, man, with the additional gauge as well. So gauge in this deck is really not a problem. Next up, we play from the secret set, Grand Entrance Grazioso. Look at, oh, okay, so this is the box art. Look at it. It's so amazing. It's on the box art. It has to be good. So you may cast this if you have a Dragonblood Sect monster on your field. Check the top 3, put 1 into the soul, 1 into your hand, and 1 into the gauge. Oh my god, this is Man, this is just crazy, man. The effects for Dragonblood Sect is just crazy. The advantage is really there. Next up, we play also from the secret set, Prohibited Ceremony Taboos Ritual. So put the top 2 cards of your deck into the gauge. If you have a size 3 Dragonblood Sect on your field, gain 2 life, draw 1 card. You can only use this card once per turn. It is your resource engine, without minusing, because you at the end you still draw a card. Now, why this card is so amazing with the Buddy? Because sometimes you just don't draw your main size 3. So you can call this to the side first. Use a couple of cards which says, if you have a Dragonblood Sect, if you have a size 3, gain all your advantage. It gives you even higher chance of drawing into your size 3, which makes this card so powerful because it's a size 3 at first. That's why I really love it. I use it as my buddy. You also can use the Bloody Eyes as your buddy, which works perfectly as well. Okay, next up is Unlimited Illusions Infinite Phantom. Now this card is really good. You can only cast this card if you have a Dragonblood Sect on your field and a monster on your opponent's field was destroyed during this turn. Gain 2 life, draw 2 cards. Wow, that's why you gain so much life in Dragonblood Sect. Life is really not a problem to you because you can use this during your turn, you can use this during your opponent's turn, but you can only use once per turn. So, I mean, it's really crazy, man. The resource that you get from Dragonblood Sect. At the same time, you're crushing your opponent's resource, so they can't keep up with your pace. At the same time, you're gaining a lot of resource, which makes it really, really, really crazy. Next up, we play 4 of the negates, Dainty Reprisal Elgante. So you need to have a Dragonblood Sect, pay 1 gauge, nullify the attack, and destroy an attacking card. So Dragonblood Sect, the counter attack mainly works on monsters. So if let's say your opponent attacks you with an item like a MAT or something, use this card and torture them by destroying their card. This is pretty important, I would say. Is mainly to deal with maybe weapons or really high defense monster which you can't counter attack. You can use this card. Next up, we play the set spell, Esoteric Rites, Serioso. Sounds like some kind of French thing, I don't know. All Dragonblood Sect on the field gets power plus 1000 and defense plus 1000. That is really crazy. Abilities of all Dragonblood Sect on your field cannot be nullified and their souls cannot be dropped by opponent card. This is really, really, really important. I wish Star Dragon World had something like this way back in the days, because we will always get countered by Loki, and now many of the tank decks, they have this card, which makes it cards which remove all your soul at once not that effective, because you at least have something to protect it, and it cannot be nullified as well. Really amazing card. I recommend playing at least 3 in the deck. Now next up, we play Black Dreams Desire Mirage. So counter, choose a Dragonblood Sect on your field, and for this turn, the next time that card will be destroyed, nullify its destruction and gain 2 life. So I was saying, because we do not have the promos, we can play many different cards, such as defensive cards such as this. You can just nullify its destruction, gain 2 life. It is as good as the promo because you're protecting once and you're gaining life as well. And also, it can counter to Lost World cards such as the Gwen, because when the Gwen enters the field, it nullifies all ability of your opponent card and then you destroy it. Let's say you do not have a weapon or a set spell on the field, then your opponent thinks that I can destroy a whole Dragonblood Sect. He calls this, you counters with this, nothing happens, and you gain 2 life, which is really amazing. Which is why I recommend at least playing 2 of these cards, because it acts like a nullify. You can get you out of some pretty sticky situation. Alright, next we play 4 of the weapon, Band of Supreme Shine Dazzling Ring. This is also from the secret set. So pay 1 gauge and pay 1 life. This card can attack even if you have a Dragonblood Sect on your center. All Dragonblood Sect monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by opponent card effects. Damage you take other than attacks are reduced by 1. Now remember I said the promo was also reduce damage by 1. Now with this card, it also reduces the damage by 1. So it isn't much of a difference. Mainly 1 damages is stuff like, you know, your opponent such as Atora likes to ping you with that 1 damage. It's really painful. It slowly chips away of life. Then we use this. You know, everything is reduced by 1 and your opponent monsters cannot be destroyed. This is definitely a must play in the deck. And then the last 2 cards we play, Time Sale. So pay 2 gauge and pay 2 life, draw 2 cards. You may only use Time Sale once per turn. So in this deck, gauge is really not a problem. Life is really not a problem. You know, why not add in 2 cards which helps you draw even more? You know, you might draw into your size tree, which is really important. Okay, so as you can see, this deck does not have a Lost World flag, but you can add in Lost World into this deck because Lost World works amazingly well with this deck. You have your main Dragonblood Sect in the center. You can call like your Lost World Vanities or the Greens to the side to attack as well, and it's really painful. Also, for Lost World, I recommend using the Nullify. Gain 2 life and deal 2 damage to your opponent, as well as various destruction cards to your opponent. Do not recommend playing the weapon because your main Dragonblood Sect will be in the center of the board. Next up, I will be showing you what a perfect setup looks like. So a typical perfect scenario, a perfect board will be something like this. We have your main Dragonblood Sect over here with its soul. It has a penetrate and it has a destroy a card. So we have this main one over here. We have this monster over here. So whenever you attack and destroy your opponent monster, you get a charge and draw. We have your we have your buddy over here. So when you after double attack, you know, and you get a charge and draw, you can attack with your buddy. You know, pay 1 gauge, stand your main monster, and attack again. So you're basically dealing 3 and another 3 damage, you know. And also every time you destroy a monster on your opponent's field, you get a deal 1 damage to your opponent. And also you have a weapon over here which also can attack your opponent. So this is very important because the weapon prevents your monster from being destroyed by card effects. So your opponent can't destroy it, and as well as your set spell, it cannot be nullified and your soul cannot be dropped. So this is a perfect scenario you want to have. You know, it's pretty easy to have this scenario because the draw power in this deck is really insane, and it's really not that easy to get this scenario. Also on your hand, you want to keep a couple of nullifies, you know, defensive spells, as well as your Infinite Phantom, because this is your main draw engine. You know, couple it together with this card, you can charge and draw, gain 2 life and draw 2 cards, and draw to even more nullifies as well. So also in Blood Dragon, if let's say your monster will be, let's say, whoa, your opponent was so strong, he overpowered and destroy your Blood Dragon Sect, you know, you can always keep 1 copy of your Blood Dragon Sect in your hand. So anytime it dies, since you have so much resources and life gain, you just call it again and you just bring your opponent to their knees. Kneel down. Alright guys, we have come to the end of the video. Do remember to leave me a like and subscribe for more Buddyfight content such as box opening, Buddyfight battles, as well as giveaways. Also, this deck will be on sale on www.buddy-mart.com. Do check them out as they sell singles all the way to constructed decks. Now, are you with me guys? Let's keep on buddy fighting.